Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Andrew Moran, Sarah Cowgill, Jim Veit, and Scott Cosenza. And this is The Conservative Five, a product of Liberty Nation, where truth is making a comeback. Prince Andrew was once the cuter, more comical of the Queen's three sons. Charles was a bit more introspective, and Edward seemed to sort of disappear into the damask draperies at Buckingham Palace. Ask any prince who wrongs a beloved princess or pals around with shady characters, the public tends to kick a royal when they're down. And Andrew was holding court with none other than sex offender, the late Jeffrey Epstein. With the trial and conviction of Ghislaine Maxwell, Andrew is in the spotlight once again. Oh dear, the fallout. Elizabeth II has accepted Andrew's return of royal privileges and military titles. The beleaguered prince must now face the consequences, more or less, as a private citizen. Scott Cosenza, Esquire, is here today to update us on Andrew's chances of surviving what's next.
Well, he lost his bid, Lisa, to be covered under the settlement agreement that Jeffrey Epstein settled with Virginia Giuffre, who is his most prominent accuser. He paid her $500,000 to not face her in civil court. And it was a broadly written agreement that Prince Andrew hoped to be covered under. Basically, it said that anybody who could have been sued in this lawsuit is now covered under the settlement and can't be attached in the future. Well, he's going to have to be, he is going to be attached in the future. The question still remains whether he's going to be in court in the Southern District in Manhattan. He has many future sort of defenses. This is like a full employment act for lawyers. And while he will have to face it as a private citizen, he'll have the Queen's Bank account probably to do it. So, we're far from seeing him we are far from seeing him at trial, but it's closer now than it's ever been.
He's in trouble, Sarah.
He's in trouble. You can, I can just remember when he and Prince Charles were these dashing young princes, and on their arms they had Sarah Ferguson and Diana Spencer, and the girls were so much fun and so, into pranking and having a good time. And they were so sort of dour and sour. And then you hear, years later that Andrew has kind of a little bit of an interesting off royal life that he has been leading. And now I just wonder, how, who else is going to fall? If you can get a prince in trouble with the backing of the British royal monarchy, who else could possibly get caught up in this web that Jeffrey Epstein has bequeathed all of us?
Andrew, I'm sort of interested in what the take is on this whole royal mishmash up in Canada.
Well, I think it's a lot of the older generations up here who love the royal family. They love everything about England. There's such a pastime up here on Sundays on CBC, on some of the CBC. People will watch 3 or 4 hours straight of Coronation Street with their bacon cheese sandwiches and cup of tea. So yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of the old generations are upset about what's going on, or they'll defend the royal family to their death. But a lot of the younger generations, they don't care. They want the royal family gone. And I don't blame them. I can't stand the royal family, and I have no clue what Sarah's talking about. Dashing Prince Charles and dashing Prince Andrew. What the heck? I can't. Oh my God!
You weren't born yet, Andrew Moran. You weren't born yet.
I gotta agree with Sarah. There was a time. Go ahead, Andrew.
No, please. I want to be shamed not thinking that Prince Andrew is this.
Andrew, women in the United States were beyond captivated by Princess Diana and her wedding to Prince Charles. I don't know why. I don't think it affects. I think there's a barrier on the Y chromosome that kind of blockades some of that fascination. But boy, the ladies do seem to go nuts for it.
Maybe it has to do with the fairy tales you're telling your daughter now, the Cinderella stories and Prince Charming, Andrew.
Who thinks Prince Charles is charming? I don't think he's charming at all. Is that why Princess Diana was always ignoring him during their marriage? Isn't that what was going on? These people are just leeches on society. I can't wait till there's this revolution. They start dismantling these leeches who don't do anything at all except drink their cups of tea and watch Emmerdale and Coronation Street and all those people. I'd rather have Mark as king of England than Prince Charles. Let's put it that way.
And you're referring to Mark Angelides,
Mark
our
Angelides.
managing editor, who does hail from the UK and still lives there. Jim, what saith you about the prince who is in trouble?
Revolution, you say, Andrew? We wouldn't know anything about that down here. Yeah. Well, I'm wondering what's the best? What do we call him now? Is he just Andrew? Is he?
His Highness, formerly known as Royal. He is the Prince Andrew, Duke of York.
Okay, cool. Now, there's all joking aside, some horrible things went down with Jeffrey Epstein, and not everyone that was in contact with Jeffrey Epstein presumably had anything to do with it, but some of the people who were probably did. So to see that this guy's prestige isn't going to bar, at the very least, an investigation of what went on, I think that's good news for people that we often see the news and we see, all these people, they have their prestige and they get away with whatever just because of who they are, or how much money they have, maybe, or something to that effect. That's good news for anybody that sees that and is disgusted. It also raises the interesting question of what's going to happen with the rest of the names on, say, the flight list, for example. I mean, we've got former presidents, former Congress people, we got some actors, other royals.
The prince has denied, for the record, any inappropriate contact with Virginia Giuffre, and says that it's basically all a lie. And it's important to add that she has some massive credibility problems. The idea that she's pure as the driven snow, I think, needs to be hedged a bit by the allegations that she has lied for money. She has another suit active against Alan Dershowitz, who says he can prove beyond any doubt, much less a reasonable doubt, or a preponderance of the evidence, that he had never even met her.
Well,
and I'm with you there.
Follow up on this a little bit, Scott, because in the situation with Prince Andrew, I think what's really damning him is the picture with the girl. As far as Dershowitz goes, you've made the point, and fair enough. He claims never to have met the woman, let alone a picture with her.
Yeah, the problem with the court case will be then, Lisa, is if she's lying about one instance, is she then lying about the other? I think Andrew's chances at civil court in terms of a judgment against him aren't that bad. The problem is the perception and the smearing of his name in the name of the royal family. If it weren't about the publicity, I don't think it would be a problem for him.
But I always think he'll have an alibi at the Pizza Express where he doesn't sweat at all. That'll be his alibi.
Well, as they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And who among us has not loved adding a dollop of insult to a stinging injury a time or two? That's all for now, but we'll be on the Palace watch for you. Thanks for watching, guys. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform. YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, we're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. Thanks so much for tuning in, and remember, surf on over to libertynation.com. Sign up for our new member zone, just $17.76 for the year. Thanks to our fantastic editor and post coordinator, Frank Diorio, and our executive producer, Sarah Calgill. I'm Lisa K. Donner, editor-in-chief. Thanks so much for joining us today. This has been a production of libertynation.com, where truth is making a comeback.